Hey, what's going on, guys? It's SonicFreak here. Today, I want to talk about my experience and my review on Chapter 2, Season 2 of Fortnite, and also getting a little bit on my current thoughts and my mini review on Season 3 so far. So let's get into it. For starters, for those of you who don't know, on this channel, I actually play a lot of Fortnite. I've been playing it since Season 5, and I've been on it for a while and played through all the seasons except for Chapter 2, Season 1. This is mostly because of the excessive green and gray weapons in the loot pool, and the map, while it was new, it was pretty boring because not a lot of crazy stuff was going on. It was kind of neutral. They tried to give it that OG Season 1 feel, but they didn't quite hit it right. So yeah, with that said, that season kind of left a bad taste for me. So when Chapter 2, Season 2 dropped, I honestly wasn't that excited, let alone the spy theme didn't appeal to me at first. So it wasn't until about like a month after the season dropped that I decided to hop back on Fortnite, because my other two online games that I used to play a lot were lacking to me during the time, so I came back to Fortnite. And to my surprise, the second season of Chapter 2 was a lot better than Season 1 of Chapter 2. There's a lot more blue, epic, and legendary weapons that are available compared to Season 1, and there are mythic weapons that you can acquire by evading the agency, which was also the first season to introduce NPCs in game. That will also laser you if you're not, too careful. But that made the game a lot more fun with these gameplay changes, and I managed to hit over level 200 before the season ended. But that's not to say that I didn't have any issues. Now, before I go on my experience and issues that I faced in Season 2, shout outs to the homie Despair. Despair is one of the main people that I play with on Fortnite and grinded the season pass with as well. And while I did play a handful of team rumbles and solos, I spent the majority of my Battle Royale playtime in duos with Despair. So I will be making a lot of references to our duo matches that we had during Season 2. So the first thing I want to talk about is the addition of skill-based matchmaking, known as SBMM. So without getting too technical, basically the more wins or higher placements you get in public games, the higher chance you are to be placed in a lobbies full of sweats, simply because it's broken right now. Now, to give you an idea on this point here, here's our stats during this time. As you can see on the left, this is Despair's stats. He has over 355 lifetime wins, and then here on the right with my account, I had over 123 lifetime wins. Now below are the duos we are getting paired with in matches. One with over 1,090 lifetime wins, and his partner here has over 1,400 wins. That is more wins than me and Despair combined. We don't even come close to this duos. Yet, in the result, we have lobbies that look like this. We get placed with a bunch of sweats, crazy build battles with in-games looking like a scrim because of skill-based matchmaking. Now, I'm not hating on the idea of skill-based matchmaking. This is Epic's way of making the game easier for players that are not so great or haven't reached that 100 win mark. But the moment you reach a past 100 wins, it seems like you're placed with people that have over 500 to 1,000 wins, which is crazy. So while I did enjoy the loot and map changes of Season 2, this was honestly ruined by skill-based matchmaking, at least in duos. Now, as you can see here in some of our games, every time we come in the lobby and we get into like the final circle or so, or the semi-final circle, we see a bunch of build battles like this, a freaking fortress of players just sweating their ass off trying to win that build fight. And we don't come close to the skill of these players, which is the annoying part. Yet, this is what skill-based matchmaking believe that we're equal to, simply because we have over 100 wins on our account. So yeah, they think that we're good enough to face these players. Now, don't get it twisted. My homie here, Despair, can pull some pretty cool edits. He's pretty good. He can keep up to these players, but only to a certain extent, because some of these players are just really insane. And this is where our lobbies constantly kept being in duos. In fact, it's so bad that even now in this current season, in Season 3, skill-based matchmaking is worse because we got more wins after playing Season 2, and now we are facing even more tougher players this season. So it literally made duos almost unplayable. I don't think we got any wins from Season 3 because of skill-based matchmaking placing us against these top tier players, which we don't come close with. Which goes on to my another thing here is controller aim assist. Now, aim assist is needed for controller, obviously because we're playing on thumbs compared to mouse and keyboard. However, Fortnite's aim assist is pretty broken, up to the point where it's literally considered aimbot. If you have an AR and you're playing on controller, you have a high chance of just lasering your opponent from insane distances unnaturally compared to a person that has keyboard and mouse. And so I don't mean to turn this into a keyboard and mouse versus controller debate, but one thing for sure is that the aim assist on Fortnite on controller is pretty broken, and it's mostly on console. PC aim assist for controller got nerfed, but on the console side of things, due to it only being able to reach 60 frames, Epic felt like it wasn't necessary to nerf console controller players. However, you do have skillful players that's on PlayStation and Xbox that know how to exploit this aim assist on controller, and therefore this will happen to us. We always keep getting lasered, and our duos be ruined by controller players just taking all of our health unless it's a split of a second because the aim assist was too strong, and it was pretty much like an aimbot, where if the same person that was on keyboard and mouse, or even I being on PC after the nerf, I won't be able to hit most of my shots or hit any at all. It's kind of unbalanced, it's kind of unfair. I really hope Epic Games fix the skill-based matchmaking and fix the controller aim assist, but I digress. Those are the main two biggest things that bother us for Chapter 2, Season 2, and there's still problems now as of this current season. It's really bad right now in Season 3. But it didn't stop me from playing the game because I genuinely enjoy and have fun playing Fortnite, especially around with friends. You know, it's not bad, but it's just like problems like these that make things unplayable for us. But hey, that's all I have to say for that. Another thing that I kind of had experienced in Chapter 2, Season 2 is the weapon drops. Now, the weapon drops in a nutshell has been nothing but pistols. I'm not sure if Epic Games intended it to be like this, but 9 times out of 10, we will always pull out a pistol from a chest, or we go into a building and there's a bunch of pistols lying around. Literally 80% of the majority of our loot has been nothing but pistols. In fact, we decided to do an experiment. We played for 5 days, recording all the amount of pistols that we came across while taking note of other weapons. And as you can see here, I made this little pie chart here. This is the amount of pistols we pick up compared to any other weapons or other items that drop. A lot of pistols here, and on average, each game, on average, we do about 20 to 30 games a night, playing for like 4 hours or so. And on average, on those nights, we will get at least 60 to 100 pistols out of a chest, out of loot in general. That's how many pistols we will have up by the end of the night. That's crazy. Now, thankfully, in Season 3, they fixed that issue. I don't see a lot of pistols dropping this current season with all the other weapons that are available now in Season 3. But it was definitely so annoying to deal with back in Chapter 2, Season 2, that people made memes about it. So, yeah. Pistols was a thing. We also, just for kicks, while we had these sweaty lobbies with skill-based matchmaking, we decided to just, see what kind of skins these types of players wear when they're sweat and building like it's $1,000 on the line. And that skin is Aura. We came a lot of Auras during our playthrough during Season 2. It was crazy. I guess Aura is like literally the sweatiest Fortnite skin, hands down, right next to Recon Expert, with people being a fake OG, but hey, I digress with that. But hands down, top 2 sweatiest skins we face. But yeah, man, Chapter 2, Season 2, it was fun. It was definitely a better change than Season 1. I actually enjoyed it, made me get back into Fortnite a bit. Despite all the frustrations, I did get a handful of wins with Despair and duos. I did hit the maximum battle pass, so props to Despair. And yeah, Epic, they did something a little bit better compared to the first season. Now we in Season 3, and time to talk about my thoughts with Season 3. Now, for starters, they fixed the issues with the pistol dropping a lot, like I mentioned earlier, but they also did something with shotguns that I'm not a big fan of. First, we got this new charge up pump shotgun, which isn't bad once it's charged up. You guarantee at least 100 damage, even from a white variant of it, charged to do over 100 plus damage. The tac shotgun, on the other hand, got nerfed, and it was already bad in Chapter 2, Season 2, because the shotguns in Season 2 are so inconsistent. One time you need hit for 80 damage, another time you do 20 damage, and sometimes if you're lucky you get 120 damage. Like, the damage values on shotguns is all over the place. You can hit someone point blank headshot, it won't kill them, it won't do over 200 damage, it just do like 80 damage or less, which isn't right. I mean, I wish Epic fixed the shotgun values, because yeah, we lost a lot of duo matches because the shotgun's not working properly or being consistent. And it's still a problem now in Season 3. One thing that did fix in season 3 though, I will give props to, is the meta. Last season it was mostly just minigun, rocket, and SMG spam. That's all you had to do. If you had the drum gun, the minigun, and the rockets, you instantly win the match, because that's all it took to cheese the match. Now this season, you can't hold as many rockets. Now the cap is 5. Before you could hold 13 rockets, now it's just 5. They removed the mythic minigun, which was insane because the tracking on it was like aimbot essentially, and you were able to carry 900 plus bullets. So yeah, of course you're gonna win for mythic minigun, but they took it out. That's good. Miniguns drop less now. I don't see a lot of miniguns dropping, and rockets are rare too now. So they fixed those 2 issues with in-game. But other than that, season 3 not too bad. Only problem is the water. There's way too much water lying around that I can barely even drop at a spot that I want to drop without being like 10 to 20 people, which makes certain challenges really hard to do. So literally the only way I was able to get some of my challenges done is by playing Team Rumble or putting myself into a bot lobby using a fresh account. But other than that, I hope the season gets better. I'll probably do another video with more detail, more thoughts, more experiences when the season's close to ending, and do a part 2 on my season 3 outlook. But that was my season 2 experience in a nutshell. And yeah, I hope Epic Games continue to improve this season. It's fun. It's just that the skill-based matchmaking and the water is getting in the way. Mostly the skill-based matchmaking that needs to be removed. If you have at least over 100 wins, you are guaranteed to have these problems that me and Despair face. If you have less than 100 wins and you're not that skilled, or you don't get that many wins frequently, then this isn't an issue. But however, a lot of YouTubers, including myself and streamers, are facing this issue with skill-based matchmaking being in the game and need to remove it. But hey, till then, I'll see you guys later. I'll do more discussion videos on other video game topics. But for now, that's all I have to say with Fortnite. If you have a Fortnite account, you can add me or using my creator code in the description below. But until then, I'm out, guys. Peace.